The recipe I'm making today is really basic, and because of that, I feel like it needs a little bit of an explanation. In this instance, I truly feel that basic is better. So the recipe is for zucchini with crispy garlic, and it's really as simple as pan frying some zucchini cut into half moon shapes along with the garlic, and I pan fry it all in a ghee and butter mixture. The reason I use both of those is because it keeps the butter from burning, but also adds really delicious flavor. But if you prefer to not use butter, you can use only ghee, or if you want to avoid animal products altogether, you could absolutely substitute that with avocado oil or olive oil. Since we're not bringing it to a really high heat, I find that those work well to use. And it creates just a really delicious, simple side dish. But my preferred way to eat it is on top of pasta. I've said before that if you are trying to avoid gluten or grains for anti-inflammatory reasons or to avoid autoimmune reactions, what you're probably going to miss the most is really good white sourdough bread and really good pasta. But thankfully, there are some decent options coming out. None of them are great or ideal, but they're decent. My go-tos are the fresh gluten-free pastas that you only have to boil for like a minute, or I feed my family the quinoa blend pastas a lot. I personally prefer the chickpea or sweet potato pastas. But whatever your preference is and whatever your dietary needs are, you're going to want something delicious to put on top of the pasta so that it's a little bit more interesting to eat. And that's how I like to use this zucchini. I pour the zucchini, garlic, and all of the ghee and butter mixture on top of the pasta. And then I add some lemon juice and red pepper flakes and goat cheese, or if you're avoiding animal products, you can use dairy-free ricotta. And it creates really delicious flavor. To really boost up the protein content, you can add a slice of salmon, which is what I'm going to do today, or a chicken breast, and it creates a delicious meal. Again, this is excellent just as a side dish, but I find it really delicious served as a meal with ideally salmon and pasta. I hope that you guys will enjoy. So I have a large cast iron skillet here, or you can use a large frying pan, and I've set that over medium heat and added in 2 tablespoons of ghee and 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Like I said, you could easily use just ghee, 4 tablespoons of it, or you could substitute both of those ingredients for avocado oil or olive oil. And then I have my 2 zucchini that I have cut in half lengthwise, and I'm slicing into about 1/2 inch thick, half moon shapes. And I'm going to set those aside while I prepare my garlic. I have found that this works best by finely chopping the garlic, because once it cooks and gets that really nice crispiness to it, I just find it's a lot more enjoyable in the dish rather than having a big, intense bite of garlic. So I'm adding that into the skillet with my zucchini, and I'm going to give it a stir to make sure it's all well coated in the ghee and butter. And I'm adding in 1/2 teaspoon of fine sea salt. And I'm going to stir this occasionally for about 5 minutes. And the reason I'm going to keep stirring it every now and then is to ensure that the garlic doesn't burn and to make sure that both sides of the zucchini are really well cooked and have that nice golden brown edge to them. So I'm using a fork here to flip over any pieces that I couldn't quite get while stirring. So for my stovetop, this takes about 5 minutes to get the zucchini and garlic to the point that I like them. If you find that yours aren't quite getting that golden brown edge that we're going for, you could easily turn your heat up to medium-high heat. Like I said, you can serve this as its own side dish, but I like to pour it on top of pasta. So I have a bowl of grain-free pasta here, and I'm adding the zucchini, getting all those garlic bits and the ghee and butter mixture and pouring it on top. I love mine with a piece of salmon, and I'm going to crumble some dairy-free ricotta over the top of that, about 2 ounces of that, or you can use a goat cheese if you prefer. And I'm going to sprinkle some red pepper flakes. I like to use about 1/4 teaspoon, depending on the heat level that you prefer, and the juice from 1/2 of a lemon. And you've got yourself a meal.